What is up, everybody? It's Josh, and this is a little promotional video that I did for people that supported the thunderclap of Night Wasp. If you're watching this video on the YouTube channel, you're probably like, have no idea what I'm talking about. But I basically dropped a post on Facebook the other day that was designed to get people involved with a thunderclap, which is basically a social media blast out of an announcement of a thing for a Kickstarter that is happening at the end of the week. The Kickstarter is for a book called Night Wasp. The book's really, really great, and I'm going to talk more about that in future videos. But what's most important about this is I told people, if you go support Thunderclap and come back to this post and tell me a superpower that you would like, I will do what I do and do a little quick fictional story as to how you got that superpower and how you go on to be a hero. A lot of people responded. It's pretty cool, and so this is the video where I'm going to basically take everybody through their powers. To the YouTube guys, if you want to get in on this, please comment on this video. I will put a link for the Thunderclap in the description of this video. I'm more than happy to do this for anybody that supports the Thunderclap. Honestly, it's pretty enjoyable for me, and I had a lot of fun thinking of all these different ideas. So let's get right into it. Oh, and a small disclaimer for everybody. You need conflict in a story, guys. So I wrote with conflict. There's things that you're going to have to face. Powers don't always work out the way that they should, especially, you know, like, in order for you to be great, you're going to have to face some great difficulty. That's just how it is. So here we go. Let's start with Alex Karvall. And I'm going to try to move quickly only because I don't want to be long-winded. I want to get to the point, tell everybody what's happening so that I can get everybody in on this video. So let's start with Alex Karvall. Alex, you wanted manipulation of common elements like fire, water, and all that. So here's what I was thinking, brother. You are watching TV late at night, going in and out of it, like falling asleep, right? You know, it's just one of those nights. It's an awesome show. You don't want to go to sleep, you're tired. All of a sudden, you see this thing on the screen that basically then becomes the surrounding area around you. And you don't know what it is. If it's a dream, it's lucid because you are super aware. And in front of you is a Rastafarian man named Master Rasta, right? Come from your imagination from way back when you were writing that character. Only he's real, my man. He's real. And from a spiritual realm, he is explaining to you that you have this great power within you that you have kept dormant for so long. He takes you through how to manipulate it and how your emotions are linked to these different elements and the power that you have. It's a great feeling. You're manipulating fire, you're manipulating water, bending them like the last airbender and whatnot, and it feels awesome. But then the dream ends, and though you try to duplicate the process in real life, you find that you cannot. You find that there is doubt, that you doubt that it's real, that you know that the dream was just a dream, and therefore that becomes your reality. You get depressed. So then one day as you're coming home towards your apartment, you are stopped because there is a massive fire at a house. A apartment complex in Cleveland had some kind of a gas leak, and it is blazing in flames. As you get closer to it, you feel a rage burning up inside of you. And at first you think, okay, this is because I'm so angry that I can't control this thing out there. And that you call back to the dream, and that you're sad and you want to fix it. But then something inside you snaps, and you hear Master Rasta say that no, the fire is inside of you. And you take the rage that you are feeling and you quell it. You become calm. And the fire in front of you also becomes calm and dissipates. And then you realize that the connection is to your emotions and that your lack of belief was the thing that was preventing you from doing this. You go on to learn how to master this and help the planet with climate change, not only trying to help, you know, prevent other bad things from happening, but repair what you can, go around and speak to different people, and you become known as the real life Captain Planet, and you go around and fight climate change. Next up is Sean Mack, who also kind of like gave me the idea for this. We were talking in the morning, and Sean, you just helped me think of a little bit outside the box, make it a little more personal when it comes to the marketing, so I thank you for that. But what you wanted was, you wanted the power of telepathy, and here's what I was thinking for you, brother. So you're in a meeting, and it is not going well. This person across from you is just not seeing eye to eye with you, and it's really frustrating, and you just keep thinking over and over again, I wish they would just see it my way. I wish they would just see it my way. And then all of a sudden, as you know, the crescendo of your emotions reach its peak state, this person completely changes their tune and they see it your way. And it's weird and it's surreal, and you recognize it immediately as something that should not have happened, and you realize that you have this power. So you play around a little bit. You start to convince people of things that you want them to be doing. You start to make people around you like you. You start to try to do all of these things. And then someone really, really close to you who is depressed and suicidal is having a really bad time of it. You're contacted by a loved one, so you go to this person and you try to make them happy. You try to use your telepathy to make this depressed person no longer depressed. Only it doesn't work. It makes them even worse. In fact, the person kills themselves, and you are devastated by it. For a long time, you don't use your powers. But then another similar situation comes along, and though you don't want to and you're afraid, you put a very subtle message out there, holding back for fear of what had happened last time. This time, it's effective. And you realize that you really can't change a person's mind. And if you try to do it artificially on a large scale, it causes a fissure that basically breaks down a person, makes them even worse off. So then you go on a great journey trying to learn more about the emotional state of people, about people in general, and you try to subtly help people along here and there. Lee Shadle, my man, you wanted teleportation, which I thought was a really cool choice. So here's what I was thinking for you, man. So you are running late to a HeroClix tournament, and it's a big tournament. The event's cool. You love your team. Everything's dope, but there's car trouble. You can't get there, and inside, all you can think of is how badly you want to be there. And then, all of a sudden, boom, you are there, or sort of. You're close enough to walk, and you don't quite understand it. Only in that moment, you don't go to the tournament. You start to investigate the powers that you have, and you start to teleport around. And it's really, really cool, and it's really, really fun until in a hurried state the next day, when you're trying to get to work with a lot of emotional baggage and stress, you teleport to work, and it doesn't work out cleanly, and it blows up half of the place that you work at. Some people get hurt, and it's really, really bad. For a long time, you don't use your powers either, until another night when you're walking home with your family. You guys are robbed at gunpoint, and all you can think of is being safely at home, and then boom, you take all of your family back home completely safe, and they can't explain it. You guys have a long discussion, and you iron out how to do this thing in a safe way. You go on to become an EMT and ride around in an ambulance, and when people really need to get to the hospital, when they can't wait for a helicopter, when they can't wait to get here or there, you basically take them to the hospital so they can get the care they need. You go on to be known as the guardian angel, and you use your power in this way, getting hurt people to the people that can give them the care immediately. Christian Paulson, my man. Christian, you wanted manipulation of atoms, like atomic telepathy, right? So you wanted to be OP as fuck, I believe is how you worded it, you know. So I had some trouble thinking of how this would go down, but basically this is what I came up with. So I imagine that in the future, you basically go to some kind of a talk or to some kind of a seminar about a new technology on the rise that is doing exactly what you want to eventually have as your power, manipulating molecules, right? And so basically this thing is really, really interesting. It's doing, you know, cool stuff of like changing things that aren't quite gold into gold, basically alchemy when it comes to the molecular structure of things, and the sky is the limit, but it's all restricted and whatnot. Basically, bro, a Barry Allen type situation happens where while you are over investigating the technology, a lightning bolt comes down, strikes the building, the fuses blow, and the machine is somehow intrinsically bonded to you and to your nervous system. So things are gravy for a while. You start to manipulate things on a small scale. You do some studying, and before long, you're able to turn things into gold. And that's your big thing for a while. You basically turn things into gold. You raise your status in society. You help your family get to a better place. Things are really, really cool, and you start to call yourself Midas. And this gold touch is absolutely incredible and fantastic for you. However, your best friend gets cancer, and you go to this friend and you try to help them. You're trying to learn everything you can about cancer. You want to go in, you want to manipulate the atoms, and you want to dissipate the cancer. And basically, when you go to do this, you accidentally turn your friend into gold. It's absolutely tragic for you, but something incredible happens in the same moment. You see the ethereal version of the friend, their soul, in front of you. And basically this person tells you to go seek true knowledge, and then disappears forever. You go on this crazy journey, and you basically start to understand the link between the spiritual world, the world that you cannot see, and the physical plane. Everything is a vibration. Most of the universe, like 97% of the universe, is not matter. Matter is light energy that is vibrating in a fixed way to create the illusion or the reality of solid object, solid thing. And so you begin to get this really crazy metaphysical understanding of what spirit is and what solid objects is, and where your responsibility with this new power lies. And you start to become pretty benevolent. And only because I know you don't like Superman, you become very Superman-esque. You're the Boy Scout, you're OP, and despite all of these things, you work with a reverence for how things operate, and you no longer turn stuff into gold, but you're still OP as fuck, my friend. Brandon Ronan B, how the hell are you, man? I'm super glad that you posted on this. I think that it was cool. Emotional manipulation, that was a little tricky for me. You know, I tried to keep you in mind. I kind of try to think of what you would be doing or whatnot. So here's what I came up with. So basically, you're in a fight, right, with one of these honeys out there. One of these girls, and you are not seeing eye to eye. There's conflict. She's super mad at you, and you're getting fired up too. How could she talk to me like this? And you know, all that sort of stuff. You're getting real fired up. And then in the middle of it, something inside you just changes, man. And you go passe. You go passive. You let it go completely. What you notice is that the same thing happens to the girl. She lets it go. And you're like, wow, that's really, really weird. And basically, you begin to understand slowly that your emotional state is symbiotic with the people that you are around, meaning you pick up off of their emotions and then they pick up off your emotions. You can begin to manipulate how you feel, and then you can manipulate how they feel. So you start to go have some fun with this, right? You make all kinds of ladies fall in love with you. You make all the guys be friends with you. You make business partners. You make all of these things, and it feels really great for a while. But then it kind of leaves you with this emptiness, and everything gets boring. And then you start to feel this melancholy. The melancholy then translates to all these other people. So you figure out that the way that you're feeling is really affecting the way that these other people are feeling. And while you were being selfish and doing all these things for yourself, it left you eventually feeling really empty. So you have to do some soul searching, and you basically figure out that what makes you happy is making other people happy. You start to make some changes. You start to use your power in a different way. And you basically just walk around finding people that are in deep need of a little bit of love, and you give that to them. And that is how you become a hero, because I know you, brother, and deep down, man, every poet just want to be loved. That's the truth. Angelo Everett, my brother from another mother. How you doing, my man? So you want to rewind time, as it were? Well, this is what I came up with for you, my friend. I was thinking that it's that magical time in the afternoon where you got to stop playing video games and you got to go to work. But you got time for one more game. You look at the clock and you realize you got time for one more game. And so you play that one more game. Then, after you're done, you look at the clock and not that much time has passed. that's kind of weird. You've got time for one more game. And so you play that one more game. And when you're done with it, you look to the clock and you realize that not a lot of time has passed yet again. Then you realize that something's going on. Something ain't right. And you realize that you have this power. As you start to play around with it and grow with it, you realize that there's almost no limit to your power. You can rewind time as much as you possibly want. And as you go around and start to notice things in the world where people make mistakes, where big things happen that are not okay, you start to rewind time, but then you see that no matter what you try to change as you go back, certain people still make the same mistakes. They do the same things. They mess up in the same ways. And so you realize that it's not good enough just to go back in time and let things play out differently. That you have to go back in time and try to talk to these people, and utilizing weird things like you know what's in their pocket and this and that because you've been through it before. You break the pattern of the way they are thinking and get them to really hone in on what you're talking about. You basically explain to them in oh so many words what is needed for them to make the real change. You go around and you start to become an urban myth. They call you the second chance man. Whenever you get a conversation that feels weird and a guy that knows you in ways he could not, that's talking about consequences and cause and effect, you know you're talking to the second chance man, and you know you better listen up because he knows something and he's trying to help you out. Raymond Leonard. Now, Sean told me about you, man. Apparently you had posted on one of the shared posts, which didn't come up with me, but you wanted to be strong and you wanted to heal people, which is very admirable. And here's what I was thinking for you. So I think that you get ill. You get ill in a way that you never have been, and you try traditional medicine and it's not working, and so you try something a little bit to the left. You try something strange and you go get healed by a famous Reiki healer, okay? And things are going on, you're not really feeling anything, you're not buying into it, the person's putting their hands on you, you feel uncomfortable, it's not okay. All of a sudden, the building around you starts to shake and eventually collapse. And despite the fact that you don't think this healer can do a damn thing, you try to sacrifice yourself and shield them with your body in a selfless act in order to try to save them from the collapsing building. Only this is what happens. The Reiki healer shifts you around and holds up the building, allowing you to escape and having just a show of incredible Superman-like strength, and you're blown away by it, and you try to get taught. And basically what you find is that this Reiki healer is of a long line of healers that have tapped into some kind of super high potential power, which makes them incredibly strong and makes them able to heal people. You walk away from whatever your life is right now. You walk away completely and devote yourself to this study, becoming a healer and learning a lot about life. So I had a lot of fun, guys, thinking about all these different things. I hope it wasn't too long-winded. I know there was a lot to get through, and I tried to just move from point A to point B. If you are seeing this video and you thought it was kind of dope, but you didn't get involved with it, go to the Thunderclap. Do it. Night Wasp is an awesome comic. Kickstarter is a great way to get people involved in these sort of things and to get some buzz and funding around indie comic books. So go support the Thunderclap. It's completely free. It just blasts out on your social media. When the Kickstarter officially launches, come back to this video, comment what power you would like. I will think of a cool little story just like some of these, and I will post it up on both my Facebook and my YouTube. I hope you're having an awesome and nerdy day. See ya!